This is where we're going to be growing the poppies this year, pick up a lot of rocks, knock out a lot of old drains, and we're hoping that in 3 months' time I'll be basically knee deep in poppies. Hopefully there's no bare ground and they're looking nice and healthy, big fat stems on them, ready to crank out some alkaloid for me.
Tasmania is one of the world's most efficient producers of poppies. Farmers here supply around half of the world's legal opiates that go into making painkillers. A massive contributor to state revenue, Tassie's poppy industry is worth around $100 million a year.
One of the best examples of niche farming in Tasmania is the poppy industry. It's the only place where we're growing it legally in Australia.
Although the industry in Tasmania is heavily regulated, there are some opiates in these poppy crops that could be used to produce illicit drugs, like heroin. Farms across the state are monitored by a specialist task force, and Will says there is no room for misuse of the opiates.
It's not a strong drug culture. Geographically, our isolations work towards our advantage, and it's a great industry for the state, really. It's a real, it's revolutionised farming. The modern young farmer is a cluey, innovative, questioning sort of quizzical bloke. If farmers aren't innovative like that, we'll go broke, no denying it. You need diversification to save yourself from the commodity game in case a big processor pulls out or you lose one market. If you lose a key market, then you're at the mercy of anything. If you can't sell your one product, you're in the weeds, basically.
The Bignell family was successfully producing mass commodity products like meat and wool until they hit severe drought. Although facing resistance from Dad, Will and his brother George moved into niche farming to diversify their crops and expand their earning potential.
The first year we grew poppies was 3 years ago. We decided to bite the bullet and buy the big irrigator, go to the bank and borrow the money. And we set up our system and had our first go at poppies. And between the three of us, my dad, George and I, we tried our best. Big learning curve. And George got right into it and really understood it all and worked really well. Brought us back together as a family, I suppose.
With traditional industries like forestry shedding jobs, poppy farming set to provide a much-needed boost to Tassie's struggling economy. The industry is now one of the state's largest employers, creating jobs in agricultural science, chemistry, engineering and transport. But for Will, poppy farming's gone way beyond being about work.
It's a bit hard to talk about, but George was killed in middle of May in a motorbike accident on the farm. I actually buried him with a few of the capsules from our crop in his hand as my last happy memory. You get positives out of it, of course, changes your perspective on a lot of things, and it's tough to go back to poppies this year. Actually, that's why we're behind. In part, it's a dangerous sport, this living on the land, and the same lifestyle that's great can bite you in the bum. And the poppies, I just do them as good as I can, with the minimum adverse impacts, and try and do it to the best of my ability. It's what George wanted me to do. It's what we were trying to do. Just keep going.